Okay, so let's do an example, start to finish, asking you to, well, say solve would be the only directions that you're going to get. So you're given an equation that looks like this. 2n squared minus 9n plus 8 equals 0. Well, there aren't factors of 16 that add to give you negative 9. So we cannot factor it through our normal means. So our only option is to try this new strategy called completing the square. So what we're going to do is start, oops, let me change colors. I like to start by subtracting or doing the math to get the constant to go to the other side. In this case, I had to subtract 8 from both sides. So I get 2n squared minus 9n equals negative 8. Next, I need to make sure that my quadratic coefficient is equal to 1. In this case, it equals 2. So we said what we're going to do is divide everything by that quadratic coefficient. So I get n squared, creating the fraction 9 halves n equals negative 4. Now what I'm going to do is figure out how to complete this bizarre looking square. How? I'm going to take the linear coefficient, sign does not matter. Don't worry about him, I can deal with him later. I'm going to multiply him by 1/2 and I get 9/4. Then I need to square that value. And that gives me 81/16. I'm going to take that perfect square and I'm going to add it to both sides. Where it causes the problem is really on the other side. Because now I'm going to have to figure out how to add a fraction to a whole number, or an integer. So what I'm going to do on the right side is rename negative 4 as a fraction with 16 in the denominator, and that would give me negative 64 in the numerator. So at this point, I've got n squared minus 9 halves n plus 81/16, which is a trinomial square because I just made it to be that. I have 81 take away 64 is going to give me what? 17 over 16. That's pretty. I'm going to continue it over here. I'm going to factor the left side. What's going to be the binomial that's being squared? What's the variable? N, not n squared, n. What's the sign? Minus, it goes with the middle term. And what's the value that goes in there? 9/4, the number I got when I took it in half. The other way to think about it is what's the square root of 81/16? Okay. So now I'm ready to take the square root of both sides. But I got to remember plus or minus on this side. That leaves me with n minus 9/4 equals plus or minus square root of 17 over the square root of 16, which is the same thing as 4. Ooh, that's kind of a nice coinky-dink. Add 9/4 to both sides. And I get n equals, since I have the same denominator, I'm going to not write two fractions, I'm going to write one fraction, the plus or minus going in the middle, 9 plus or minus square root of 17 all over 4. Now, I cannot, there's no way to take the square root of 17. If I got a whole number answer, then I'd have more math to do, and I'd have to add the numbers in the numerator, divide by 4, subtract the numbers in the numerator, divide by 4, but this one, I'm done. One and done. Okay?